Welcome back to the Build a Good Life show, and today we're going to be talking about why what your parents taught you about money is completely wrong. Now, your parents weren't all wrong about what they said. The problem is they were playing a different game. You see, the money systems that we have now are different from the money systems, say, your grandfather would have had. And when the systems are different, it means the rules you use to win at them are completely different as well. You see, money used to be governed by a simple system that was called the gold standard. And the gold standard was relatively good. What happened was you had one bar of gold, and the reason they picked gold or silver or precious metals is because they were relatively stable as far as price over time. And so they would dictate that, I think in 1971, one American dollar was worth 1/20th of an ounce of gold. And if you had this much gold in your treasury, that means you could print this many dollars. And it made dollars very, very stable. It also made saving really easy. All you had to do was collect as many dollars as you wanted, and you knew that your wealth was going to increase. And what rules came out of that? Things like take your time, save money, work hard. Those are all rules your parents were teaching you for the game of the gold standard. The problem is, things have changed. In 1971, they took money off the gold standard. And then all the rules changed. Now this is the new debt standard, and there's a debt system, and there's a very big fundamental change here. You'll see before, dollars were backed by gold. Well, in the new debt system, dollars are actually formed and their values formed by government decisions. You see, when you had the gold standard, governments would have to keep a big pot of gold, let's call it, and they couldn't print any more money unless they had more gold. And it made it very hard for them to print money. It made it very hard for them to do things like lend money to people so they could build bridges and build roads and infrastructure, whatever they wanted to do. So because of that, the government came up with this new debt system, and they basically took all gold relevancy away and said, we're allowed to print money whenever we want. Now the problem is when you're printing money that you don't have gold to back up, what it does is it lowers the price or the value of the dollar that you have. And that term is called inflation. The problem here comes though, is that when you're operating on the gold standard thinking, what happens now is that you're working hard, you're saving your dollars, but as you're saving your dollars in your bucket, which was super safe in the gold standard, there's now a big hole in the side of your savings account called inflation. Now, if you continue to live by those old standards and by those old rules, you're gonna get robbed. So let's go and check out the truth of how the system works today. Now, under this new game, here's the real truth. The real truth is that the wealthy are now no longer collecting dollars. They're collecting debt, and I'll show you why. You see, savers collect dollars. How do they do this? They work really hard at their jobs, they save every scrap of every penny they have, and they continue to collect those dollars. The problem is, those dollars are getting lowered in value by inflation, so inflation is robbing the savers. The savers also pay a lot of taxes on the dollars that they have saved. And they then have to take the small amount of profits they have and use them to pay for rent, pay for things they need to purchase, their cars, everything. So now they're losing profits. Now, under the new system, the wealthy collect debt. And it's very, very simple why. Now, one of the best ways to collect debt is real estate. I think it's 60% of the wealthiest people in the world got there through real estate, and it's simple. See, real estate is an asset, and assets avoid inflation. So the inflation that the savers are getting robbed of, the wealthy are accumulating. The the asset of real estate also avoids a lot of taxes. A lot of taxes that the savers are paying, the wealthy are not paying. They're avoiding. And the third way is that they generate profits. They provide places for people to rent, people to work. And these savers need places to live, need places to work based on their system. So then they lose their profits to rents for the assets that these wealthy people have. And even better is that real estate continues to collect debt. You can refinance your real estate and continue this cycle of wealth building. It's a new game. You can't be playing by the old rules. You need to upgrade your thinking, upgrade your knowledge, and start to realize that there are new rules to win by. Now go out there and start building your good life.